So I don't really know what my purpose is. I don't know what my purpose is at all. Huh. Do you? But what I mean is, like, in making this video, other than that, I'm super lonely. I hope that's not too loud. I wanted to play the Cocktail Twins Heaven or Las Vegas because it's such a good album. Um, I'm just, I think maybe like there, I think I have 4 subscribers, but, and I know who one of them is. Oh, I know who 2 of them are. One of them is my son, who doesn't watch any of these videos, which is funny. And the other one I know, he's in Australia. Hi. The other 2, I don't know. I don't know if any, so anyway, but I'm super lonely, and um, I got really super sick. I made that video on my birthday, I think, or the day before my birthday, and I was getting sick, and I didn't know how sick I was going to get, and I ended up in the hospital in the ICU just for a night with pneumonia, and it lasted a couple weeks, and I was like, I got super bummed out. Like, it's pretty fine being alone. Um, and then I was like, man, this sucks. Being alone sucks when you're this sick and super sick. And I'm getting older. You know, I turned 47 on the 10th of this month, and I thought, anyway, whatever. So I'm making this video because I thought, like, I don't know, I just wanted to talk to somebody. So I thought maybe I would just talk to the video camera and talk about, like, my journey, I guess, which sounds like, so when it comes to God and, like, Western civilization's understanding of God and Christianity and all that stuff, like, I've read so many books and stories, and I know that it's real, that there are so many thousands of stories of people with, like, Jesus, seeking Jesus and seeking God and having all these things happen to them that, like, fits into the like understanding biblically, I guess. And for me, it's like, I think, okay, I think that stuff is real, but then I think I'm outside of it, and not in a, like, I don't think in a like a I'm better than that way, but just like, well, that seems to be real for people. I believe it because I've had a crazy story, so now I believe the crazy stories I read. But it doesn't apply to me. It feels like, because there have been so many times over the last 5 years almost now that I've called out to God for, like, and Jesus for the thing that other people say they have. Anyway, I don't know if I want to, and I haven't gotten it, but I have all this other stuff. Like, I have really intense, so it got all dark because of this commercial. There it goes. Supernatural stuff that happens to me all the time, that's happening to me all the time, like a healing thing. And it, I've tried to talk about it to people. I don't anymore, really, not that much, because people will just zone out. And also, I did act really crazy in the beginning of this, like, years ago now. And so that know me from then think that I just went crazy. And I sought the truth from God. And so people have been like, a couple of people, not like tons of people. It's not like everybody's all, what do you mean? But a couple of people are like, well, what do you mean we sought the truth from God? And I mean, I sought the truth from God. I asked God for the truth. I was seeking a lot of, I wanted to know what the truth was about everything, like everything. And I just didn't want to accept what everybody kind of accepts as, like, well, this is just life. This is our life. This is what we do. We get, born and go to school and go to college if we're lucky. If we're not, we don't go to college. And then, so if you don't go to college and you have, like, a crappy life, then maybe you struggle and work crappy jobs, and that's just what you do. And then if you didn't, or if you overcame somehow, then you go to college and you get a good job and you do that thing. But and you become a consumer, right? No matter what, which path you take, if you live here, you become a consumer. That's what we are. I feel like we are bred to consume. And everything that we're fed through media and, well, everything feeds us like a bunch of bullshit. But most people, it's kind of like the Matrix. It's a lot like the Matrix, except for the superpowers are hard to come by, I have found. Like, you can wake up to it and go like, holy shit, this is like not, it doesn't seem like what we're like really meant to be doing. But then most people just kind of accept it anyway. Like, well, I don't know, this is just what it is. So I'll just like have my circle of friends and we'll do fun stuff and I'll have kids and then they'll grow up and become consumers too and they'll have to get a job so that they can make money and buy shit. And meanwhile, we're living like this like very unsustainable lifestyle, right? Completely unsustainable, like what we're doing and the stuff we're being fed, the media circus of life that we get. I mean, a really good example of it right now is that whole Kavanaugh thing. Like, yes, the Me Too movement and sexual stuff. I mean, I've been sexually harassed, and I don't mean that it doesn't matter and it's not a big deal, but they're talking about that Kavanaugh thing like it's September 11th. It's all you hear. I mean, well, if you like, I listen to NPR a lot, but I stopped now because every single time I've turned on NPR in the last couple of weeks, at least, it's been about that every time, unless it's like maybe a Saturday when they're having one of their programs, their shows. But like in the morning, my alarm goes off. They're talking about that, and I feel like it's that's a whole other thing. I'd love to talk about if there was anyone to talk to about it, which was maybe why I'm making this video. I think I'm making this video because I'm just fucking lonely and bored. And I also have like, so I sought the truth from God because I wanted to know what the truth was, because I didn't want anything from this world anymore. I had a hard, rough, childhood life experience, and that's like, did a lot of stupid shit and fucked up everything that could have been good. I ruined it, and I wish it was brighter. Sorry. And at the time that I sought the truth from God, which was 2014, I had been I've been like doing a lot of research about stuff. I was living in LA in this little studio apartment, and I didn't really like go out or hang out with people. I was managing a restaurant, and I had friends and stuff, but I wasn't really that interested in the like thing. Like, I just didn't want, I don't know. I was like, what is going on here? Like, what's the real deal? Like, this doesn't feel like what we're meant to be. And yeah, that sounds like a cliche, like that quote from Office Space, human beings aren't meant to sit around in cubicles listening to 8 different managers drone on about mission statements. Like, we're not. But what we're born and bred to be here in this country, and this, I guess, is consumers, to consume, to spend money, to make money, and spend it. And you can't, be alive without it. You can't just like go off somewhere and, I mean, yeah, okay, you can be like, I'm going to go off the grid and, but whatever, I mean, the fact of the matter is, the truth is that what we're doing, what we're living right now is a banal existence, because we're all just going to die. And if you don't know that there's more than that. So anyway, I sought the truth from God because I was seeking and like I was researching. I was getting into things. And it was like the first time in my life, well, in a long time, that I was like passionate about something. I was so interested in like what's the real deal. And I kind of said, I think I'm just going to turn that off because it's brighter without it. I kind of said in like another video, which whatever, that shit, I forgot what I was saying now. That I wanted to know the mystery of life. Like it seemed like there was a mystery, and there is a mystery, but and as I was seeking, I was doing some stuff that's pretty unconventional that I'm just not going to talk about because it's just weird. But I was doing some pretty unconventional stuff, and just stuff started happening to me. Like supernatural stuff started happening to me. Basically, the supernatural exploded in my life, and I acted like a crazy person when it happened because it was crazy. It was like so much. I guess, that like there are things in the Bible that are true. Like if you seek from your heart of hearts, stuff will happen. And I did. Like I saw it from my heart of hearts, like from the like here. Like it was, I needed it. I wanted it. It's kind of like Napoleon Hill wrote this book called Think and Grow Rich. And it's an interesting book. It's from like the early, I think, like 20th century, like 1900s. But he talks about having a burning desire. And if you have a burning desire, you can make anything happen. And that's true. And I had a very much a burning desire to know the truth. And so I sought it. And when I say I sought it, I mean that I like a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff. I was reading and watching videos and doing things, and things started happening to me. I started to feel like a spirit, like actual, not physical stuff, like coming on my head, like in my body, on my back. I felt things, and a bunch of stuff happened. But I asked God for the truth when I was standing like this in my apartment, and I was like, what is the truth? What is the truth? I just want to know the truth. And I could, like, there was a feeling, and a lot of other stuff happened to me. Like a year before that, I had this experience of like a like love experience thing that happened to me on December 26th, 2012, when I was thinking about something in the shower, and this like thing exploded in my chest, like golden, but I couldn't see it. I could feel it. And that's the thing about like spirit stuff, I guess. You can feel it and you can't see it. And so I asked God for the truth, and then all this other crazy, crazy stuff happened to me. Crazy stuff. And I acted crazy, and I got like, it's kind of like I got served. Like I got humbled and humiliated because I was thinking maybe grandiose thoughts about myself because these things were happening. And I was like, I don't know. I also asked for stuff like the patience of Job and the wisdom of Solomon and the faith of Daniel. And then I said I wanted to be a man of knowledge. Like I asked for all of this stuff. Like things started happening to me, so I pursued it because I was like, I'm getting answered. And I pursued this supernatural experience I was having. And it continued, and it has continued, and it changed, and a lot of stuff happened. But that's what I mean when I say I sought the truth from God. I mean, I literally asked God for the truth one night in my apartment in Los Angeles, in Echo Park, Los Angeles, and mayhem ensued. And so that's why, like, I don't fit into the like standard Christian story of getting saved. And there are so many Christians who think like, well, it's just the devil and you have demons. But you know what? I've changed in like these weird ways. Like I want to, like, I've become like more of a prude kind of in certain ways. Like I don't like to watch anything creepy or scary or horrible. Like I just kind of like, if I watch TV, I just want it to be like TV 14. And even though, so, and I've read like, okay, what's demonic like oppression like, and they almost universally say stuff like, well, you will want to like do things like watch more porn, and I don't know, just go dark. And I didn't. I went lighter, and I got healed. I have a healing. I have a nonstop and I'll talk about this right now. And if you watch this, you'll probably be like, whatever, because that's what most people are like. And I would have been the same way. If it was like I was listening to me talk, I would just be like, whatever. And that's kind of like the weird um, irony, I guess, of it is that I have this amazing thing that is not scientific, that it is outside of the limits of science and medicine. I have like a jaw deformity, and so I have really, really, really bad TMJ, but not just TMJ, like bruxism and like an open bite and all this stuff that for once I stopped growing, my lower jaw stopped developing with my upper jaw, I guess. This is what an orthodontist told me in my 20s because I was experiencing like this chronic pain. And I experienced that for 20 years, over 20 years. Chronic, horrible pain that I just learned to live with because, and it was like neck pain, jaw pain. I couldn't relax my jaw. And I never asked for healing in that way, but I got it. And I didn't get like my mother. I don't understand that because she thinks that God would just like take it away and make it better and like fix it. What happened is that I have a like all the time, like right now, even when I'm talking to you, like force, spiritual force thing going through the muscles of my jaw and my face. And it like props my mouth open when I'm sleeping. It's been happening to me for almost 5 years. It doesn't ever go away. And it makes it better. And sometimes it kind of pulls back so that I feel more pain. And then sometimes it's in, but it's there. I have a thing. I'm a walking miracle. I have a thing that isn't explainable through science and is amazing. I'm used to it now because it's been happening for so long. But if I try to talk about it to people, they're just like, yeah, of course. I understand why people are like, okay. Because who has that? I've researched and looked and like I have spent the last 5 years, well, doing lots of stuff, but researching and reading and trying to find stories like mine, a story like mine, someone who has an experience like mine. And the closest I ever got was like, have gotten, I mean, kind of is like the lives of saints, but because they have all these miracles that happen to them, not because I'm like a saint, but because they, and so what I think is that it's super personal, like your experience with like spirit or whatever you want to call it. Like, I don't even go there. I don't go there anymore. I can't like be like, oh, well, spirit is, that I have this like almost banal, like thing happening to me. And it happens to me no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter if I'm awful or great. No matter if I say a bunch of horrible stuff to God because I've gotten so mad about it, it's still there. I still get healed. I still get relieved of that pain. And I have interpreted that as being something that God gave me so that I could get through it, so that I could get through this time because I touched the void. I had things happen to me that I can't even talk about because I don't know how to describe them. And when there's a gnat, sorry. I read a lot of, well, I have read a lot of near-death experience stories, and I think it's really helpful because people, to me, it seems like they have this, I don't know, there are a lot of people who are like locked into the Bible, the biblical version of God, and they think that's it. If it's not the Bible, if it's not like what the Bible says, then it's not God and it's a demon. And I just think that that's sad because our story is now, our time is now. And I have a modern experience with God, with seeking God. And it doesn't have to be like 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. We live in a modern contemporary world, and I have experienced things from God that people don't think are possible. And I know. And you know what? If somebody finds their way to this video, sorry, and they're like, oh, you're just demons and God is this, whatever. You can have that. That's fine. That's your experience. My experience is different. It's a personal experience with what I have found to be the truth is that it seems highly personalized, and that where you're like what you really think matters, and that I feel like God gave us minds and hearts for a reason, and that this is how I feel. And I'm not trying to tell you how it should be for you. I'm saying how it is for me. That I feel like God wants me to know what I think, what wants me to seek and wonder and get to a place where that it's okay what I think about it. That he's not going, oh no, it's not that, you're wrong. It's that I have a mind and a heart for a reason, and so I'm interpreting my experience in the way that I do. And I don't even know if I'm making any sense right now, but I needed to talk. I didn't want to just come home and watch some stupid thing on TV and be alone. I'm alone all the time. I mean, I work, and stuff, but I just wanted to talk about it. And I haven't found anybody who has the experience that I have. Like, everyone that I've talked to about it, who has listened, they always interpret it through their lens, through their experience. And so it's not, my experience isn't that your experience. But I believe all the stories. Like, there's so many really incredible stories of people like Vanya, that book Vanya, the book Bruchko, people who have these incredible experiences with God, and it's very biblical, and they go through a lot of like suffering and everything. And God does like these amazing miracles for them, like the heavenly man and all those stories. Well, that's not my story, because I don't feel like them. I don't feel about God the way that they do, because my experience has been so intense and so difficult. And so, but it's changed me. I've changed, and I've gotten stronger and less, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I wanted the change too. I mean, I asked God for a lot of stuff. I wanted a lot of stuff, and I wanted the change. That was one thing I wanted. And I was like, I want the change. I want to be changed. I want to be healed. I needed to be healed, because I had a really, really, really super dysfunctional, messed up upbringing that like bled into my adult life and ruined everything. Everything was, I mean, that's a whole other thing, but anyway, I don't know if you get anything out of this, or if you just want to, like, if anybody wants to talk about it ever. Somebody watches these. I get like maybe 6 views. Probably people are like, that's not what I'm looking for. Well, one of the reasons I started making these videos in the first place was because I was looking for somebody, anyone out there who maybe, because like when everything started happening to me and all this crazy stuff happened, and some people believed me and most people didn't. And I was looking for someone like me who maybe was talking about an experience, and that I could find. Like, I watched all these videos, and I was looking and reading and researching, and I emailed different people. Like, I emailed like different pastors even, and they would just shut me down. Like, well, obviously if it's not biblical, then what do you think it is? I mean, it can't be God. And I just, fine, you know what? That's what they think. That's their experience. I don't think that that's actually the way it really is. I think that people are locked into something, and they don't realize that ultimately it's just not like that. It's not. So, but who am I, to like shit on your experience? It's just that like so many people that I reached out to kind of shit on mine. And that's fine, because it makes you stronger. And I do believe that God is in the business of making us stronger and making us actually know ourselves. And that can be a long and arduous path. And that, there's that guy Gurdjieff. He had a great quote. I have it written down somewhere about, I'm going to go get it. Hold on. I have it. He said, awakening is possible only for those who seek it and want it, for those who are ready to struggle with themselves and work on themselves for a very long time and very persistently in order to obtain it. So that's been my experience. For other people, like, I don't know, like I've read books of people who don't have to have that. They just get this like amazing grace and peace and faith, and that works for them. And I don't mean like that works for them like that. I don't mean it flippantly. I mean, wow, it does. It works. Not for me. For me, it's something else. It has been, and maybe it's because of what I already believe or how I believe in my heart. And I think that matters. Um, I think that how you really, really believe in your heart of hearts um, shapes your experience with God. And I think that probably has a lot to do with what it means, what the Hebrews were saying, because the Old Testament is a very spiritual book. And a lot of Christians in Western society don't realize that there's like, midrash, which is the thing of like interpreting that book. And you can interpret it in like different ways. Different people will get different things out of it based on what they need at the time. It's a spiritual book. So, God, I had like the thing I was going to talk about with that. I can't remember. Sorry, I get distracted. But um, I guess that's it. When I sought the truth from God, I sought the truth from God. That's it. I asked God for the truth. I wanted to know the truth about everything. I wanted to know the truth about everything because I know that we live in a world that's full of lies. It's full of lies. And if you just believe what you've been told, you believe what the media tells you is going on in the world, that that's what the world is, then, I mean, the world is full of lies. And so that's it. I want to keep talking, but that's it. I'll say it again. I sought the truth from God. I asked God for the truth of everything. And I asked him in a very deep, profound way that I could feel like heart of hearts. I think when you're asking from your heart of hearts, when you want something that bad, when you have the burning desire, you can translate that into like becoming an athlete, the burning desire, or making lots of money, or seeking truth. And seeking truth is it's a perilous journey. I mean, there's a lot of myths about that. A lot of myths. I mean, that's what the whole search for the Holy Grail is. It's the truth. And the things that I think it's the things that can happen to you when you do that. I kind of think about the Neverending Story when he's like basically at the Oracle. He's at the Oracle, not basically. He's there, and the Oracle is you can't get through unless you're real. And I think that's a myth because it's truth. I mean, I actually got told that by whatever, I don't know. Thought it was God, could be angels, could be devils. I don't think it was. And 4 years ago, I got told that by something not human. God doesn't want you to be perfect. He wants you to be real. And so, yeah, that's it. Once again, if anyone has like a journey that they don't understand or they want to talk about, like I'm here, I'll talk about it. I will talk about it with you. So, good night and good luck. That's a really good movie. And thanks for listening to me and hearing me out on this like super crazy ramble. Bye.